Okay, so why is nobody talking about the three great things that John Mahama has done in Ghana since taking office in January? Three great things that he's done. The latest being he's reading out the Riot Act to civil servants who are refusing to declare their assets, which is what I'm going to talk about right now. But before then, let's talk about the two things he's done before. The first one was what he did on taking office. Remember when he took office in January? The first thing he did was to chase away the US military and their base from Ghana. Remember the controversial military base that his predecessor went and signed with the US government and brought the military into Ghana. And this is the agreement that he had with the US with respect to the base. Look at it. So on taking office, John Mahama looked at it and said, oh no, this is not going to work. This greatly impacts on our sovereignty. I mean, if you don't have access to your base, you can come and go as you want. You bring in soldiers, can't do anything about it. We can't check you. You do whatever you want practically. This is not going to work. It impeaches our sovereignty. So he told them, you've got to go. So the next thing he did was also to break down the colonial trade routes that our colonizers have imposed on us over the years, which practically made our economies exporters of raw materials only. And he said, no, we're going to stop that. Listen to it.
We're able to export tariff-free into our countries. Of course, there are obstacles because our trade channels have been the colonial trade channels between us and Europe and not amongst ourselves. So one of the things we need to deal with first is how we develop the infrastructure to be able to exchange goods amongst ourselves. Already, most countries are allowing free movement of people, and so if we have free movement of goods and services across the continent, I think that it will fill a huge gap in South-South trade, and that will benefit all our countries.
And do you think that the actions of the Trump administration will accelerate Africans' determination to do this? Will it finally actually happen, the African Free Trade Area?
Definitely it will. Definitely we will learn to be more self-reliant as a continent and to trade more amongst ourselves because there's a lot of room there for expanding trade.
Listen to him. We can work amongst ourselves as Africans. We can trade amongst ourselves. Goods and services can be exchanged amongst ourselves first before Europe or the Americas. And then finally, the third, but not the least, is this coming after civil servants, corruption. He's decided to tackle corruption head on. So he wants all civil servants to declare their assets. He has declared his own asset and he wants every other person to follow suit. Some of them are not because they think it's business as usual and he's just read them a Riot Act.
On the 18th February 2025, I set a deadline of 31st March 2025 for all appointees who are taking office or being nominated at the time to declare their assets. An update provided by the Auditor General to my office indicates that some of you failed to meet that deadline. For all those who are appointed or nominated before 31st March 2025 and failed to meet the deadline, you are to forfeit 3 months of salary to be donated to the Ghana Medical Trust Fund, named after me, Mahama Cares. In addition to 1 month's salary that I've asked all appointees to donate to the Mahama Cares Trust Fund. So it means that those who omitted to declare assets by the date, you are paying 4 months' salary to Mahama Cares. However, if by close of day Wednesday, 7th May 2025, any of you still fails to declare your assets, count yourself automatically dismissed. The assets declaration regime is an important mechanism to check corruption and abuse of office, and it must be respected by all.
And corruption, honestly, is the major bane of African countries. Our leaders are so corrupt that nothing works. The only reason Traore is succeeding is because he's not corrupt. If he was corrupt, we will not be talking about him. Mahama is tackling corruption head on. Trust me, in 2 years, when you hear the story of Ghana, you will not believe what you'll hear. It will be similar to what you're hearing about Burkina Faso right now. So there's no doubt that with all that has been going on with John Mahama, Ghana is surely going to take its place as an African pride when it comes to African nations that are doing great.